name's Jill Bainbridge. I live on the Bells Lane estate, on Bells Lane itself, and we're at Bells Lane Community Centre. We built in 1991, and currently on offer we've got after school clubs, holiday play schemes, we've got a preschool, art group, Slimmers World, cardiac group, taekwondo, kung fu, welfare rights, and sessions of information, advice and guidance from the Tenants group. Well, when we first started in '87, we started to sort out a housing programme of modernisation, and once we thought we'd got that sourced, we sort of looked round and thought, well, when we look round the place, there's not much else, and even at that time youngsters were getting fed up. So we looked around and we did an 84% return survey to say, would you like a community centre, what would you use it for, after 2 years of campaigning, we got money from the City Council's main programme to build it. We started doing holiday play schemes, and then we thought, well, that's not enough because it's only 10 weeks of the year, have Christmas off. So we started an after school club, and as kids started coming, they grow up, some have stayed with us as volunteers, and some bring their kids back now to use the same services they used 20 odd years ago. Our oldest volunteer working on the scheme has been Joan, and Joan's 83. She's only been in a couple of times, but she's been in. And our youngest fully fledged volunteer is 18 for legal requirements. But we try and bring on our 16, 17-year-olds and younger, so we can breed our own volunteers, and very soon we can retire. For a community centre, you're very naive when you start off for a community centre, because you think it's all about running facilities in the building, and you forget that somebody has to run the building. So there's two things. You've got to be enthusiastic for what you want to do in the building, but then you've got to be prepared for the culture shock when you've got to take on being responsible for personnel, finance, health and safety, legal requirements, any legislation that gets thrown at you.
Okay. That's enough, that's plenty.
Right, there we go. Let's give it a quick stir then.
Over the 25 years, budgets have reduced, so the role of volunteers has changed an awful lot. It's not just about turning up and providing a service. You've got to think for the service now, and you've got to raise the money for the service, and you've got to balance your books for the service. So it's increasingly more about shuffling paper and not being a provider. And sadly, there's not enough of us who do that. A lot of us are very reliant on support workers, and they're being cut as well. So there needs to be a lot more developmental work put through to volunteers to enable them to take on that role, because it's a bit daunting. In 1988 we wrote a development plan, and our development plan was about the things we see, but we also wrote one for city homes, and it was about the sort of service we required from repairs, allocations, and we still aim for that, because we want to see a service where if something goes wrong, it's put right quickly, that's on the ball, that's accurate, that's polite, that's consistent, and that's a good job. And really, that's not much to ask of anybody, whether they're a volunteer or get paid. And so that's the sort of service we're looking for.